What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dirty Degens. And I am, as always, and forever, your degenerate host, Josh, for the evening. Tonight, we've got a good show for you. Going to talk some economic things, some Bitcoin things, some overall market things, because I feel like that's what's really important right now. Other than that, though, Solana's been hit hard, but I think it might all just be a ploy. And, a lot of things actually look like we're about to have a huge move with Bitcoin and crypto. And that's why I told you on Friday and I told you over the weekend, and I'm going to tell you again, now is not the time to panic. So let's get into it. Hopping right into it, though, like I said, Bitcoin is a little bit down, right? We had that big old dump on Friday that took us from 122,000 all the way down to like 105, 107. This is Coinbase. Coinbase actually didn't dip that low. It went to like 106. Yeah, 107 flat, basically. On other exchanges, though, on Friday, we did very well fall to 105. But it recovered pretty quick, and then it continued to kind of fall a bit. That candle didn't last long. It lasted a couple hours. If you are in my Telegram, I was there when it crashed, and I was like, guys, this is where we buy. We don't panic here. We don't exit the market. This is not the beginning of the bear. And within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, we were all talking about how we're up 60% on our buys, because a cascading liquidation event like that comes once a cycle. Like we had FTX and Terra Luna, we've got this, we've had Mount, we've always had once a cycle, some mind-blowingly weird event. And this time it was liquidations combined with oracles failing. So that's kind of crazy, because oracles is what keeps the whole market flat, nice and in sync, right? They're working together. They're talking to each other. That's what Coinbase's sole purpose is. And that's why it's arguably one of the most undervalued cryptos in the whole space. But we're not here to talk about Coinbase or Chainlink. But, over the weekend, Bitcoin did come up quite a bit, managed to get up towards around 115 or so. And it did, unfortunately, fall once again today. We have a beautiful M right here. I can just paint it for you because it's going to be really pretty. We can just highlight it. We've got, it's red. I want to make it yellow. There we go. You see that nice M? We got the golden arches there. Everybody loves that pattern, because that means we're going back to work. But no, obviously the reason why Bitcoin did fall today is because the government shutdown's still going on, guys. But everybody forgot that Powell still talks. The man that moves the global markets still speaks. So when they knew that he was going to speak, they have no idea what he's going to say, and they all panic. So they sold. They sold a lot. They dropped us from 113, 114, all the way down to like 111 once again. But Powell spoke, and guess what? He didn't have a whole lot bad to say. Despite the shutdown, despite the tariffs, the economy is looking better than they expected. Still signaling at 2 rate cuts this year, and they're talking about ending QT. Not starting quantitative easing, but they have to end QT. I actually had something pulled up from Bloomberg, from the Bloomberg terminal, but I accidentally closed the tab and I couldn't find it again. But Bloomberg terminal also reported on it. And Bloomberg terminal, for those of you guys that don't know, is something that major financial institutions utilize in order to get news the second it happens. Very, very fast. It costs $30,000 a year. It's insane. But that's why I can't just like pull it back up. I managed to get a screen grab from somebody. But nonetheless, they are hinting towards ending QT. Very positive for markets. That means that the central bank stops decreasing their balance sheet. There's more money left there for overnight markets. It's very positive all around. It just doesn't have that immediate impact, right? It's not like, oh, we're turning the money printer on, right? But it is good. So obviously that helped bring the market back up today. We fell down to that 110 area that I was talking about, but hey, look, we're back up at 112. A little while ago when I opened this up, we were at like 113.4. Nonetheless, guys, it's really not all that bad. ETF flows, yeah, sure, they've gone down a little bit, but look at last week. Last week was insane. This was the second best day in Bitcoin ETF history. The entire week I believe, was the best in history, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, sure. Now yesterday we had a little bit of a sell off. Let's see if we refresh this, if we get some today data. Look, Fidelity bought, BlackRock's going to keep buying. And yes, I know that this is not Fidelity and BlackRock buying. Yes, they could have money in those funds, very much so. This is investors underneath those, funds, right? Or buying IBIT or whatever. Like I could technically contribute to IBIT going up. But I'm not gonna, because why the hell would I buy an ETF when I can buy the best thing, right? But ETF flows are still looking quite solid. It's actually shocking that we see 132 million coming in from Fidelity. So I'm expecting us to see some very, very solid numbers from IBIT as well. But outside of that, there are some more positive things too. Well, positive and negative. I mean, this one specifically, maybe not the most positive thing in the world that you can possibly see, but US is seizing $12 billion in Bitcoin from a Chinese pig butchering scam. The only reason why this is slightly positive is because now everybody's saying, hey, reserve, right? Like your Bitcoin reserve, the national Bitcoin reserve, the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Is this going to help kickstart that? Are we going to get an announcement with that? $12 billion is a lot of money. I would argue that it should go back to the people that lost all their money. I mean, there's got to be some sort of record or whatever, but it could help build the strategic reserve. We could see that. It is nice though to see these scams get cracked down on and go away overall. Now, some other things that are very bullish though for crypto overall. Remind you, like, I get it. You guys want to hear about alts and everything, but also like everybody that I see is losing faith. They're losing hope. They're asking, is the top in? Did we get another double top for 2 cycles in a row? And I don't think so, because we're seeing so much bullishness coming through. And this is going to be huge, guys. I'm talking absolutely monumental, game-changing, groundbreaking. You've never seen something like this happen before, because this impacts everybody in the United States. Now, you have people that maybe they can't afford to invest money into crypto or stocks or realty, whatever it may be, right? They can't buy land. They're working a 9 to 5 and they're barely getting by, and they're forced to invest in this 401k. Otherwise, they have no hope at a future. Now, they want to make Trump's crypto executive order law, meaning that cryptocurrencies that are selected, but arguably we'll see like Bitcoin, we'll probably see Ethereum. Well, we'll definitely see Ethereum. We'll probably see like Solana, Chainlink, all these popular US cryptos come into play here. But there is $50 trillion in the 401k pool, right? That doesn't mean it's all going to go there. I'm not a moon boy like that. I'm not blind, right? But even if 5-10% went into there, if we saw $5 trillion go into crypto, that would be monumental, right? And then I'm not saying that we need the government stamp, but getting the government stamp on it would obviously make a huge impact there. So this coming out is quite a big deal, because we heard about the executive order. We talked about the executive order, but we actually haven't seen any fruition from it. And I think this could be a game changer there. But we have actually seen some things happen that I'll get to. But there was something else that I did want to talk on that also has to do with crypto law and other things that we've seen. Roger Ver, who you may know of if you've been in the space for a long time. If you haven't been, though, you may not have. But he is like a Bitcoin OG. He's one of the first. He's like, at the very beginning, forefront. He was a frontier, a groundbreaker. But they call him Bitcoin Jesus for that reason. But he actually is, he was kicked out of the United States because he owed a lot of money in taxes from Bitcoin and crypto. Now, instead of sending him to prison and he's exiled forever and everything like that, the United States is actually cutting a deal with them, which is kind of strange because they have in the past loved to just prosecute and criminalize these people. I'm not saying like you shouldn't pay your taxes, yada, yada, whatever. But it does show that how they're viewing crypto and things like that is changing. It's not like you owe $49 million in taxes because you were a drug dealer, right? It's not like you owe $49 million in taxes because you were running scams. Like, whatever. At the time, when he got into it in the very beginning, there was like zero tax regulation around it. I just thought that was a little bit interesting. But what you'll find more interesting is Elon Musk, once again, is showing his support for Bitcoin. Not total support, but he did say that it is a real currency that's based on energy, and he called fiat money fake. This wasn't an X response and all of that. And that's why he said that is why Bitcoin's based on energy. You can issue fake fiat currency, turning the money printer on, right? And every government in history has done so, turning the money printer on, but it's impossible to fake energy. You got a limited supply. Nobody can print it. Nobody can fake it. There is no counterfeit. There is no better. There is nothing more solid. Gold, we can inflate more of. I guarantee you we're going to go to the moon and we're going to find gold in the moon. We're going to find gold on asteroids. You're not going to find any more freaking Bitcoin. That's for sure. 100% positive. What else I'm 100% positive is that JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, is one of the biggest frauds in history because he has been trying to get people to say no to crypto, say no to Bitcoin for a decade. And I'm not exaggerating, for freaking ever. But guess what? Now they're planning a huge crypto trading push because now they have enough in their pockets to where they can actually profit off of this. And regulation is clear enough that, hey, they shouldn't get in trouble either. But there's a line to make some money, so they're not going to move away from that. So we are going to see JP Morgan Chase offering crypto to their institutional clients and wealthy clients all across the globe. I'm not a big fan of banks, but I'm a big fan of more people buying crypto and being allowed to. I've had numerous bank accounts shut down myself. If you've somebody that's been in the space for a long time, you probably have as well. So we're very against debanking, right? That's part of the point of Bitcoin and crypto is the fact that we can bank ourselves. I personally got to experience the event of my banking myself, and it was insane. If I would have gone through it with a bank, it would have been terrifying and terrorizing, and it would have ruined my credit and all this other stuff. But no, I was able to do it myself because being in crypto, we are our own bank. So that's how I feel. Self-custody, screw the banks, buy your own crypto. But also, speaking of custody, Citibank, they have been preparing and talking about custody services for 3 years. And in 2026, another quarter away, they are going to finally launch their custody services, which means that at that time, they will do the same thing that JP Morgan is about to do. JP Morgan doesn't want to get into custody yet. They will, but not yet. But Citibank, they're doing it a little bit opposite. They're going to get into custody, then they're going to push trading. So, these are all things that are showing you that everybody else is preparing while they're trying to fear you out of the market. It shows you that something huge is coming. That's why when that dip happened at Friday, I didn't panic. Also, I don't leverage trade. I don't suggest leverage trading. I don't think you should short or long anything. I think you should buy spot and hold. You can't lose. You literally can't lose. Now, if you accidentally leave cross margin open on your leverage trade, you can get your entire portfolio wiped out. It's stupid. Why would you build a portfolio for years to set up a cross margin trade and get completely liquidated in a Oracle issue and cascading liquidation event? This is why we self-custody and we bank ourselves and we buy spot. But even with how that sell-off happened and that huge liquidation event we happened, still 90% of Bitcoin holders are in profit. That is insane. Now, if you look at it, back when the Luna crash happened, we got all the way down to 48% or so, 45% of the crash. Oh man, Luna was here. This was Luna. But so Luna was in 2023, or FTX Luna, and we got down to 60 or so percent. And then the crash in 2022, I remember that one. That one was brutal. But got all the way down to 45% of the supply and profit. Still barely wicked here. So there's no reason for everybody to panic. Everybody's making money right now. Everybody's up. What is there to be upset about? I'm going to check out chat real quick. I do have a little bit more to say. I've got quite a bit more to say, though. What's going on, Clifton? Happy to see you here. I know that guy, consulting. What's going on, Degen? Mark Anthony, Marky Mark in the house. Ron Paul, always here. Mike Lee, what's going on? Don't call me by my full name. Who are you? Mark Anthony, did you say 5 trillion into nothing? No, 5 trillion is not going into nothing. It's going into crypto, baby. I guarantee you, like, think about all the young people, right? Think about all the people that like are not nearing the end of their retirement. Think about the new generation that's getting into the workforce. Are they going to want to invest into Microsoft and Ford? No, they're going to want to buy Bitcoin, Chainlink, and Solana and Pepe if they'll let up. Give me some Dogecoin while we're at it. I mean, we're talking about things that they're going to be allowed to buy, but no, they're not going to want to invest in stocks. No, they're going to want the things that made other people that they've heard about millionaires. It's going to be crypto. It's just plain human psychology. It's that simple. But now this is the other thing, because we all said, October, Moonvember. I forget what we say for October. I can't even remember anymore. I'm all up in here. But every single October for the last 3 years has been a crash in the first 10 days, followed by a monumental rally. Something incredible, something extreme, something that nobody thought they saw coming. And history doesn't always have to rhyme, but it does tend to be somewhat similar. So in 2023, we saw an October dip, marked bottom, boom, rallied all the way from like 25,000 to 58 or 66,000. And then we traded sideways that whole freaking year. It was terrible. You guys remember, you were there. But then once again, we got to October, boom, downwind, mark the bottom, boom, rally up to nearly $100,000. This was, during election season. It was crazy. Now, here we are again, another year later. Boom, huge wick down in October. So now it's time for the next leg up. Everybody's calling for $440,000 Bitcoin and shit like that. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm telling you, the run ain't over yet. Definitely ain't over yet. And it's definitely not over for Solana either. Solana's just getting started. We're talking about all this institutional stuff and ETF flows and people buying and whatever. Well, Solana's just getting their foot in the door of all of this. So there are like 9 different ETF filings for Solana. They were all supposed to be approved like last week. However, unfortunately, due to the government shutdown, none of that has happened yet. But Bloomberg did give like a 98% chance that those ETFs were going to be approved. Now, Bloomberg doesn't want to look like an idiot. So obviously they're not going to go that extreme. They would go like 50-50 or something like that, right? So when we do finally get these approvals, we are going to see them go through. And VanEck keeps dropping the fee. Not only that, they also updated their ETF to allow staking, because now you can also have staking in your ETFs too. So returns, everything, it's more and more attractive for those of people that don't want to deal with holding $1 million on their cell phone and staking it on chain and everything like that. They can just buy an ETF. They lose 0.3%, but yeah, if they're putting $1 million in a Solana ETF, I don't think they give a fuck. Outside of that, though, CME futures did launch also today for Solana, so that's also a big deal. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, they run futures exchanges. Basically, you bet on what the price will be down the road. Will it be up? Will it be down? And you can trade that. So those are already live, not only for Solana but also for XRP. XRP is doing fine, but well, not really. XRP got hammered on Friday, like really bad. They were down like almost 70%. It was insane. That Friday drop was crazy. I'm not going to downplay it. That was crazy. Some other things for Solana, though, it is very interesting because everybody likes to say that Solana is a cesspool and it's a scam pool and it's not going to go anywhere because it's centralized and validators are subsidized. And, the list goes on. But Solana also does have the most volume by quite a margin across all exchanges. Solana is also in its infancy compared to Ethereum. Solana has 30 times the revenue of Ethereum that Ethereum had in this point of its life, right? And then you get down to like Base and Arbitrum, and it feels bad that you included them in here, but hey, it's the top 5. Because they're at $48 billion in the last 30 days, $27 billion in the last 30 days. It practically halves. So Solana is leading the charge by a large margin. And that's why, even though we've got the, centralization and all of that, and the subsidization and whatever you guys want to say, the theoretical output, we have all of that, but we also do have the top performing crypto in the entire space, and counting that out is a little silly. And that's why Korea is going to work directly with Solana to develop a stablecoin. We saw that already with Wyoming. Now we're seeing it with countries. There's other countries that are talking about it. Switzerland's talking about it. Sweden, I think, was talking about it. So we're going to see more of this, and they're going to gravitate towards these major chains. And actually, if you want to say that Solana is subsidized and everything like that, this is what will give them the power to no longer be. It's just a hope and a prayer and everything like that. But hey, it very well could be what changes the tides of everything for Solana. And lastly, speaking of stablecoins, stablecoin volume is going up into the right. Not volume. Stablecoin TVL on Solana is going up and to the right. It's at an all-time high. It's been all-time high after all-time high. It seems like it's never ending going up. This morning, I saw another $1 billion was minted by Circle on Solana. So these are not people. This is not Circle or Tether saying, guys, we need another $1 billion on Solana. No, it's actually a person going to Circle or Tether and saying, hey, I need $500 million on Solana. Here's $500 million. Give me my $500 million. That's why those happen. It's not because somebody is just like at Tether and they're like, hey guys, we really should put another $1 billion on Solana. No, it's not what's happening at all. It's somebody wants that. They ordered that. And you know what? You guys should want some Clash. About done with all this crap. But no, Clash has actually been doing really well. Here we've got that Friday wick. Somebody sold like $117,000 or something like that in one clip, dropped it down to 17 mil, got ate up really fast. And hey, it's trading above there, trading at $40 million. Project is like what, under a month old, 28 days and 23 hours. So I would say it's doing pretty good. The main reason I bring it up though, is because there is changes to the tournament structure for Clash, and not, I know that the tournament may not actually entice a lot of you, right? Like you're more interested in just money go up, or can I win a giveaway or whatever. Like maybe you don't want to play the game. Here's the great part though. George actually did change it up. So now also they're also doing more prizes outside of the top 10. But let's see here. So where is it? Referral bonus. So any registered participant with the most valid referrals into the Clash Discord before a tournament starts gets 0.5 SOL. Social media tournament clip, 0.5 SOL. The most viral tournament clip within 48 hours after the tournament ends. So like you just make a video and whatever. Tournament pre-hype, another 0.5 SOL. Any registered participant with the most viral post by views before a tournament starts. Got tagged, blah, 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 whatever. Spectator giveaways. 20 randomly selected spectators get 0.2 SOL. So like it's all cool stuff. You don't even have to play at this point. You can just be a community member and be involved and you can win. I think that's pretty sweet. So I wanted to let you guys know that because George is still doing them every week on Fridays. In fact, he's about to go live in a few minutes here. So you guys can go from here and go over there. Also, I want to talk about Stray Dog because I'm buying Stray Dog right here. I will also say that I want to say it was right here. This is my $5,000 buy that somebody immediately cheated. And I donated that all to Vitalik. So I'm bullish on Stray Dog. I bought and I burned. I bought $5,000 on the spot market and I burned it all. And then sitting down here at 1.5 million, I'm buying. If you are part of the 69er syndicate, or if you're not, just know that things are being worked on, right? So I'm still bullish on Stray Dog. I'm excited for what's to come. And I think that especially right here, if it falls lower than here, I'm going to have to max bid. But right here, I think it is a solid DCA level. We're talking about 1.5 million. Tasty. Now, I do have one other meme coin that I want to bring up that was requested that I check out. So this one is Bruh. And hey, it's not doing too bad. It's got $158,000 market cap right now. I know nothing about this project so far. So let's just check it out, see what's going on here. We've got 586 holders. LP is holding 14.5%. This must be the dev here with 5%. I'm guessing. Actually, we can find out on Pump Fun. Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, it says the dev is all the way down here at 1.61%. But he's, holy crap, he's buying the crap out of it everywhere. So, okay. It's not bad. But let's see what else we got going on. Don't know who that 5% is. That's always scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit scary because look at, for example, here we got Clash at 39 million market cap. And then if we look at the holders, this guy holds 4.99%. He holds $2 million at $40 million market cap. He could do some damage, right? So like, hey, he could also be like this guy though that's never touched his token. So I'm not saying just because somebody holds an ass load of tokens, it means they're going to dump them. I'm just saying you have that risk, right? Because not a lot of people can look at $2 million and not touch it. Let's be honest here. Like, let's be 100% black and white honest. Not many people can do that. Bubble Maps itself, though, that's about as clean as it gets. Let's hit the magic wand. Still, not bad. We're not getting any huge clusters. Then, of course, it locks up on me. Doesn't want me to click them. But overall, that doesn't look too shabby. So we've got a little bit of a concentrated supply here in the top 10%, but it's not the worst I've ever seen. Actually, somebody earlier asked me to look at a project and it had like 35% in the top 10%, and that's like terrifying, right? And actually, that one went on to Rug. So this isn't bad. I know that there's a good group of people I know that are in this, and honestly, they're probably up here in the top. I haven't even looked at this project though, so I don't know anything more than that. But that distribution doesn't look bad. Clash actually even looks similar too, if we want to talk about that. Like, look, looks basically the same. It's just you can't be surprised if this guy here decides to cheat when he's got $20,000, and they will one clip it. You just have to have a little bit of a community there to back it up and buy those candles, right? Checking out the website though, because obviously this is a Pump Fun token, but it's very obvious it's not a meme token because it's BetBruh. So turn tweets into bets. So I'm not expecting a meme coin here. I'm expecting a utility play with a vision. Tweet your prediction, tag your rival, and stake it right on X. Win crypto, earn clout, let the chain decide who's right. So we're looking at Polymarket, except Polymarket crossed with Banker. If you guys aren't aware, Banker's on Base. And basically you can just like tweet that you want to buy a token. You can tweet that you want to buy a token and send somebody whatever, right? All on Twitter. But this is making bets like Polymarket right on Twitter. I like that idea because honestly, who wants to go open up another app to do all this shit? Not only that, think back to like Kobe doing major bets with people on X, and they're doing like $5 million bets or whatever, and they need an escrow person. And then they're finding an escrow person that has at least a backing that can justify holding $5 million. It goes back to the whole thing of like, who can you trust to hold $2 million and not dump it, right? But so I like the idea there. It'd be really cool if I come on to learn that like there is going to be a locker, right? Where like everybody puts their money in and it locks up and goes out, pays directly, like completely trust free. That would be amazing. So far though, it sounds cool. It's not something that I've seen other people say that they're doing, which is even better because everybody wants to like redo somebody else's idea even better. I hate that shit. Let's see. We got live bets. Let's go. Bet 2 points, Bitcoin hits 110K by October 20th. Oh, so somebody has to accept it. So there are acceptors too. So I can choose to accept this. I mean, I'm not going to, I would actually take that bet if like I could agree, because the chance that we get a wick going down to 110K by October. Oh, wait, it's past October 10th. What the fuck? October 20th. Yeah, I would take that bet for sure. Like that's going to probably happen. Wicks happen. So here you can actually see all the bets that happen. So it doesn't look like you can stack on top of them though. It's just like a 1v1 bet, which is kind of cool. What's the degen ones? $250 by the year end. Token will bond today, migrate. So this is cool. It's a pump fund project, but they actually already have a full working product, it seems, anyways. So that's cool. You connect your X account. You get 2 free points to start betting. You tweet your bet. So how does points translate into tokens, right? I mean, money, right? I don't want points. I want money. Bets resolve automatically using on-chain data. Winner gets 2 times stake. Cool. Token plays, price prediction, real world event. Okay, so it's just like Polymarket. Got it. Trustless settlement. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Automated Oracle settlement. Cool. On-chain treasury. So when somebody makes a bet, does that mean that the tokens go to the treasury and then the treasury just pays out? Is the treasury multi-sig? There's a lot of questions there, because now imagine this gets really popular and it gets to like Polymarket levels, right? And there's millions and millions and millions of dollars in bet, bro. Who the hell are you trusting with all of this? It just goes back to that same thing I was saying in the beginning of, can you trust people to hold $2 million and not cheat it? This is actually super interesting though. I'm liking it so far because it's unique. It's interesting. It's not a pump fund meme coin. It's been out for a few days, like a couple days already now. This is on the daily. Yeah, so it's been out for 3 days now. Nice steady movement. No like crazy wicks and shit like that. We go on the 1 hour. Oh, that looks good. You know what, guys? I like this. Watch down here. I'm gonna put in what do you guys say? I'm gonna do more than a bar tab. I'm gonna do a studio rent. Because I think this could actually gain a little traction. Actually, before I do that, you know what? No, I'm going to do it because you guys are going to front run me. You guys are all assholes. You guys are all going to do it. You'll see my buy come through. Don't worry. Let's see. We're going to buy 3 Sol. There we go. So we should see that come through here in a second. 3 Sol there. Bam. 3.5 million, bruh. All right, now let's check out the X. Now you guys can follow me because I front ran y'all. Tweet your prediction, tag your rival, stake it right on X, win crypto, earn clout, let the chain decide who's right. Cool. It's Polymarket with the social, twist, whatever. It's very like everything looks extremely organic. That's part of the reason why I just made that buy. But so I'm not expecting crazy numbers here on the X, but this actually looks good. People are paying attention. Record these. If this guy is listening, like these should be recorded. Why can I not go listen to this? That's asinine. Fix that now. Like you're making a real product and I can't go back and listen to what the hell you're talking about. That's a big mistake. Huge mistake. We've got to fix that. Everything looks pretty bullish though. Honestly, thanks for bringing up bruh to me. I'm bullish on it. I think it could do well. It's a unique idea. It needs solid execution. The treasury wallet needs to be separate from the betting pool. And yeah, then we're good. The betting pool wallet goes into a multi-sig. It could be like 4 people or whatever. And not one person can kill it. And then also you've got to have your treasury, sure, to do things, but that needs to be separate. And hopefully one of you guys care about this and you can take it back to them. But I like how this is looking. It looks organic. It looks solid. And you know what, guys? Let's do some freaking Q&A. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I just threw $600 in bet, bruh. Send it to the moon. I'm going to be gambling on chain. But if you have anything you want to talk about, I'm going to check out chat here. And let's see what's cracking. Let's see. But again, did the Department of Justice get into that wallet without having access? They typically come up with a way. Somebody gets raided and they crack. That's what happens. Thanks for the stream. Do you still like Sweet AI? Yeah, if they're still working. Honestly, I haven't been paying a ton. Okay, that's the wrong sweet AI. It showed it was at $40 million. I'm like, there's no way that's right. Yeah, so they're still at $1 million market cap. Honestly, Swee's just not hot right now. They went through a small little stint of being hot. I think that Sweet AI could be good. The problem is hopefully they've been working hard. I'm not going to lie, I haven't been paying super up to date with them, but they could be outworked by others. But hey, if they've been hard at work since I first brought them up, I think it's promising still. What's one of my favorite Sol ecosystem plays? I mean, it's hard to ignore Lofi. It's hard to ignore Walrus. It's hard to ignore Deep Book. I would say like those are my sweet plays. Mark Anthony says he has a really good question. So if you are in stablecoins and dollar value drops, doesn't the value of your stablecoins? No, because it's not pinned to the DXY. It's pinned to the dollar. So no matter what, it's worth $1. The DXY can go crazy. It can plummet, whatever. It's worth whatever one USD is worth. So yeah, other things price will go up. USD is one USD, you know. We can become like Argentina, and you got to buy, you're better off wiping your ass with dollar bills than toilet paper. But still, one USD will be one USD. So that's how that works. What's going on, Ozbuds? Nice to see you around. Shyman says that 5% is locked. I'm assuming he's talking about bruh. So cool. That's that 5% wallet. Ron Paul says he scooped a bruh bag. Nice. And he's got a big stray dog bag. Nice. VCPC says, VCP says, how to figure out my name here. Looks like you just did. Tom Jones says, grabbed a nice big old bruh last night. Nice bag of bruh. Real interesting concept. Hard to see it not blasting through 1 million. 1 million is child's play, I think, for bruh. I think it can do very well. What are we buying, Legends? Bruh. We're buying bruh. Let's see. Bruh. WTF is a bar tab. You've been around here so long, Oz. I know you know what it is. 3 Sol isn't even a bar tab. Get serious. Yeah, no. 3 Sol is not a bar tab. If you go to the bar and you're spending $600, you've got a different problem. Let's hope that's not the case. Cass explained what a bar tab is, and Oz says he's the bar tab kingdom. There you go. That's the way to do it. Honestly, like there's nothing wrong with getting in a project, letting it go up 60% and taking your $40 out, and then you got a moon bag. If it goes to 100 million, sweet. You've got your money out. You don't care what happens. So that's perfect. McChubbin says holding bruh and stray dog as well. Full disclosure, McChubbin's the one that asked me what my opinion was on bruh. Ron Paul says he went to a bar in Vegas during a Bitcoin conference and the bar tab could cause a massive green candle. Dude, that's a fact. Straight up. It doesn't get more real than that. Now I want to see how bruh is doing. Hey, bruh's having a little bit of an erection. Look at that. We're causing the next leg up, fam. Bruh. Let's see. Vegas bar tabs are very different from normal bar tabs. Absolutely. Depends on the bar. I hang at wrong places, I think. Also order by the bottle, even though I don't really drink a lot. Hey, if you're ordering VIP service and bottle service, that's your own problem. I mean, I go with people that do that too. I prefer to drink really expensive tequila at home. That's what I do. I don't go to the bar. I hang out here with you guys and buy shit coins. That's what I love to do. But you know what else I love to do? I love to have dinner. I really appreciate all of you guys hanging out with me this evening. And I know it's been a rough weekend. And hey, the week is getting off to a better start, though. Now, if you do have any more questions or anything like that, feel free to join my Telegram. The link is in the description of this video. Otherwise, you guys all have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. Smash up the likes if you like what you saw. Subscribe even if you didn't. I will be back with another stream or video tomorrow. Peace.